TK for one, he's very observant of his environment. TK can decide to leave his office and go to Oshodi and just sit down in a corner and be catching snippet shots of the environment. And I was sitting there and just said, hey, pause, hold up. I said, don't move. And he brought out his camera and snapped me and said, there's this inspector guy I'm working on and I want you to. I said, okay. And that was it. Then, fast forward to Cordelia, I was in church. I just finished from church that day and I went home. I was writing, then someone just said, call TK and greet him. You've not said hello to him in a long while. So I called him and the next thing I heard was, hey, William, are you in the country? What are you doing? Are you free for the next 1 month? I said, yes. Even if I'm not free, I'm free for it. And that was it. And he said, do me a 60 seconds monologue. It's not for me, it's for the other people who are watching. I know what you can do, but I just need other people to. And that was it. And I came on board, only to find out that I'm working with this awesome, delectable queen. This tout here I've worked with a long time. I've worked with him several times. And when I saw her, I was quite excited because I've seen her, and from that project we became very good friends and started visiting her house, saying hello to the family and all that. And she's a wonderful actor.
Yvonne, you should tell.
And working with TK.
Tell the press what kind of marriage you.
We'll come back to that. So working with TK is fun. He gives you the latitude to express yourself, and you see him, he hardly gets in your way. The only way he gets in your way is the camera. What he sees, you are not saying it, just be yourself and all that, and having to have awesome actors to play with. We made the job a lot easier for him. It wasn't anything beyond what the capacity we've got to exercise what we've practiced for a long time and having the field to play with, and without much supervision. That's the kind of director TK is. He trusts you to deliver, and if I have that kind of trust, I don't turn it down. I respect it and deliver what I'm asked to deliver.
All right, thank you. Give love.
Okay. My question is to TK. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. I would like to ask, over the years we've seen lots of your works, like you said, while we were growing up. So I would ask, after such a long wait, for a while we've not seen some of your works, how did you then say, okay, this is the time to come out with Cordelia? I think the Nigerian audience, given what we have in the cinema, Netflix, and the new tech. So how did you figure out that, okay, this is the actual time to bring out Cordelia for your fans and your people?
Yes, I don't think it was such a long time ago, because remember my last film was Anila.
Yes.
And every film has a meaning. Ayla for me was the opportunity for me. There are two principal characters in Ayla. I've always been fascinated about Abekuta. Abekuta has always remained the backdrop to almost every film I've made. Somehow I don't do city stories. I just, the kind of stories either from literary source material or fiction, I fit it into Abekuta mostly. And of course, the story of Anila is very intriguing to me. For years, imagine what I propose to do. So after Anila, then I was going to do perhaps a sequel to Anila. And then, like I told you, I had Cordelia. I have several books, by the way, waiting to be made. And because of the cultural fusion project, I saw the opportunity that Cordelia is the film that can be so dramatic to inspire a robust musical score. Because the time it starts, it just sucks you into the action, and you wonder what's going to happen next. Because the story happens quickly, less than 48 hours. And I knew that it provides opportunity for the sport. And it took longer time. At first I thought this is going to be so easy, a fast turnaround this project, but it turned out to be more challenging than I thought. But I can tell you that it's worth the wait, because 3 years of making, and finally I think this is the time it's now ready for the audience, Nigeria, African, and global audience to watch this special film.
All right, thank you, sir. Emirati.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. My question is to Ms. Yvonne Jagede. What are the experiences you took away from the set of Cordelia?
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Yvonne Jagede. So, I've been in Hollywood for quite a number of years, and I see it as a learning process. So working with TK was a big deal for me. Me and my manager were jumping on the phone, we're shouting, we're dancing. It's like, TK called you? From where? Me? But anyway, I got on the set and I learned a lot of things. I made new friends, but I learned a lot of things. And one of the things that I took home, that you said, you dissed me on set, and I was like, yay, beautiful. I messed up. So we had different things on set, and there was a scene where they had props on set. And normally, you know how we are in knowledge.
And I can't understand how you talked about it. And when it comes to the family, because the family, it was realizing this story in pages of Guardian, where he worked in Guardian. And then sometimes he said people would come to him and say, my problem was, I was serious there. You know, I didn't know you have so much. And the one I said, I don't have a problem, but it's just a story I'm writing. You know, that was how convincing it all was. You know, it's so magical. And then they brought it to life. In fact, beyond my own expectations. Sometimes I wonder, is it real? And when we get to Major Kawali, this guy designed the character and smoked so menacingly. And anytime he left, I say, oh my.
There's no stop you see on the floor.
It's a wonderful, wonderful.
This is why I asked that question is because I'm looking at the situation that we find ourselves in Nigeria currently. I'm looking at that, that setting that we saw that teaser that I watched. I mean, I'm looking at, if possible, we actually can tell what the story, it's all about now, because I saw both of them. Saw that down moment, I saw the rule. Looking at it, don't you think there is more? Because I'm already thinking what I'm gonna come out of that movie. Don't you think we're going to have another part of that movie? Probably a kind of a part 2, because the story of the military era, and I don't think anything has changed as far as this country is concerned. Comparing the military and what we have. Just as if you have it in the movie. But this is not a coup, but you passing the message, because I can see a strong message coming out from that movie. So relating that, from the 90s and to what we have today, nothing has changed. And it's still the same,
When the democracy, we have a robust democracy.
I said to this.
All right, thank you.
Let me just chip in something there. Having to have the Nigeria of the 90s, 80s, 90s, and all that, the military era, and falling into this period, you see how we've fallen, or rather, things have gone up to what it is today. So most times, we storytellers, you see, like I say, literature, use the society, use the society back to the society. So we haven't seen the film yet. We've seen the snippets of it. It can propel or project that if you don't do X, Y, Z, this might not happen. So it's just like a foretelling for you to guide the society the way it should go, so that when you do that properly, everything goes right.
I hope our actors and actresses can
Let
take
me
the
just
lesson.
summarize Cordelia like that. Sometimes when you watch the film, you realize maybe it's just a casual glance, recent historical glance. But at the end of the film, you can just say, oh, it's a love story. You know, so there's no way you can tell what is something you're saying.
You can even come into the cinema and you pick out, you carry the military, whatever, and do. Someone comes and takes love story.
Yeah.
Another comes and says, I want to be a professor.
All right, thank you, sir. Can we have the can we have a second to the last question from Relay for CB?
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Tayo. Sir TK, my question goes to you because there's this word that says that music does not need any permission to enter our spirit. Is it that Cordelia is promising us that he's going to set our souls on fire, that for us to expect the next thing to happen in this movie? Because I realized that you've been saying something about this musical part of the movie.
Exactly. So what I want you to watch is the last scene of this film. And hear the sound that accompanies it. Then you come back and come and say, TK, you are right.
Okay.
Even if you are dead, you wake up. Miracle music. And then it's a tribute to one of our greatest musicians who ever lived here.
All right, thank you, sir. Can we have the last questions before the closing remarks from Ben, City People?
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Ben from City People. So I have a question. All this while, I've just been listening to what you were saying. You kept on mentioning adaptation, original score. Now it goes back to this, all the movies you do, or most movies that you produce, do they actually reach to something, just respect of what you say, does it get to our soul in terms of music? And at the same time, adaptation of novels and unwritten words. Can you just
I think it essentially has to do about the stories. I try to convince people with the generation to have millions of literary resources, assets, that we should be ashamed of that because we haven't even done anything. You know, I carry books around, and sometimes I'm excited at what I'm about to do next, what will follow. At least 3 or 5 things that we are adaptation for literary source. Why have we stopped reading? I often wonder, how can anybody become a thinker without reading? I think it's not. See, I started early in life with Iyofagwa series and they learn on. And now I've laid my hands on Ayedaye. It's a Wide Ruler's work, which I can bring through out of my head. I just translated. You know, I don't know how I feel about books. I'm surrounded by books. If I have obtention of a fiction, another thing, I will suddenly take it. Sometimes I don't know what I'm going to do next. I just know that there are 5 options. And then something happens that triggers what I do the next moment. You know? So for me, it's my own way of life. You understand? I have a very broad canvas. That is the beauty of Africa. Imagine Africa, about 50 countries, 2,000, 3,000 different cultures and colors. We are not even reflected it in Nigeria. How much the whole of Africa? So that's how I don't know if it answers your question. I've even forgotten the question.
No, you answered my question because I was asking if most of your movies are book adaptations.
No,
because you spoke mostly on adaptation and original score, which is music and storytelling. So that's the question I just
I
asked.
presume you are happy now. Thank you. All right, I feel Precious have something to say.
Okay, my question is to Miss Yvonne. When you first read the script, what did it stay in you?
When I read the script and I saw my character's name was Remy, and I saw the kind of personality he had, I knew the personalities that I had to act or interpret before. So, an angry wife. But when you have to work with somebody who feels like you always make sure that even if you're playing the same character again and again, you're interpreting it differently. You adapt to one habit or one vibe, something, and just make that character stand up from all the other characters in the play. So when I read it, I knew I had to do something completely different. Not just shouting like doing up things as usual, not just being angry and shouting and showing that you're angry. There's a character that I kind of wore over myself because my husband is obviously very big, bigger than I am. I'm like this high when I kind of thing. But I had to make him know that you have a fire wife in the house. You can be a professor.
She swallowed
You
it.
can be whatever it is out there in school. But when you're in this house, I am your wife, and you have to respect me. So I had to create a character where I chest out when I walk, so that you know that trouble is coming. So I was just excited to bring different things on set, and like they both say, TK will let you do anything you want to do. He will let you do whatever you want to do. So it was a blast. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, when you watch movie, anytime she appears, there's a special music for her.
So that's the question.
Now you answer the question. Just answer the question.
No, there's, in fact, the music stuff is with her character. Because anytime she appears, usually the people in the back on it, and they say, let me go there and say, it's too late, the music changes and we see her. But it's fun.
So it kind of gives a better picture to your question, because when you started earlier, you talked about the scoring, and the scoring of the song wasn't done like you go into the studio, it was live. So they were watching the film without anything, and they were scoring it. So if you've seen an orchestra before, and you have over 70-something people scoring, as they're watching it, they move with the action of the actors and all that. So every film has its style. If we come from the Nollywood perspective, days back, you can predict what song will come in and all that. You slap my face and da. But this one, her mood, the music depicts what was saying. So it puts you in that frame, it puts you in that position to feel what she's feeling at the time she's feeling it and all that. So it's it kind of drives everything home.
Now, my own last word, right? I'm not allowed to say.
Yes, sir.
No, what I just want to say is to, first of all, thank Professor Kelani for giving us that. I still wonder how we thought about it and then wrote this story. And I want to thank the talent for bringing it to life. I couldn't even believe myself. You know, William said that they make it easy for me. No, you don't make it easy for me, I make it easy for you. Because what I do is, anytime I'm making a movie, I thought I'm so privileged enough to pay all these people to entertain me. Because I'm the first audience I can see, just like the palm wine you're bringing down. Top of the year, and I'm sitting for you to bring that, first to drink it, I'm looking at other people. And I just see all the transformation, everything going on right in me. Some of them, that's why when I sit on stage, I'm working with play. And after the play, I can't recognize the people who play it because they look so different. You can never imagine this guy or her, for instance. No, it's not possible. So this is magic. And I'm particularly grateful to God about what God has given us. We are blessed. With the tangible heritage, oil and gas, and all those things. But more importantly, we are blessed by everything. And then everything that we are all doing, and we are close and eternally grateful to the city people for bringing us up. This is not like the press conference, just like it happened in chat. Now I said, bring drinks and I said, so I thank you all for this opportunity to meet with you, and so on. So I'm back. Tunde Kelani.
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you.
And don't forget, it's July 18th.
July 18th for the year.
All right, that's the
July 18th.
Tunde
July
Kelani is
18th.
back. That's a very correct hashtag. Tunde Kelani is back. All right, thank you so much. Can we have boss, the big boss himself, for the closing remark? Thank you.
SK Baba.
Once again, a round of applause for SK Baba.
Guys, man.
On behalf of the committee, I'd like to say very big thank you, each and every one of you, for leaving on that here to share time with the time with TK and also cast off the new movie for Delia. And I want to please for you to support and give publicity to the movie in such a way that we will have a lot more Nigerians who are out there eager to go out and watch Today. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. So let's have our actors, our star actors, and our legend outside
Oh,
for
please.
the group for the legend.
Don't forget the legend. You know, when Shaka is still alive, right?
We can't forget the
Yeah.
legend. You are indeed. You're
So
indeed.
now we have you
You are.
guys outside.
Go, man, go.
Group photograph.
Mention.